Alright, today we will be animating an object sliding up and down a rail. So to start, I'll take out my two models. Here's my rail. It's a 10-inch rail, and I'll pull out my slide. Now this slide is exactly 1 inch by 1 inch on the bottom, and that'll come in later. So first thing we'll do our constraints. We'll do mate, and we'll just select the top edge of our slide and the top edge of our rail. Then we can press OK and just slide this out. Then I'll constrain the bottom edge of our slide and the bottom edge of our rail, and that will just keep everything in line. It'll also prevent it from rotating around. Now we can right click our rail and ground it. So now we can't move it, but we can slide our slide. So our last constraint, we'll go back into mate, we'll go flush, and we'll select the end of our rail and the end of our slide, and we'll just press OK. Now under relationships, we can right click flush and suppress this. So that will allow our slide to move back and forth, but having this constraint will allow us to position it properly to start our animation. So go to environments, dynamic simulation, and construction mode. Alright, so since these two are already joined together, we already have the joint that we need to animate. So go into prismatic, rail, and slide. We'll go to properties. So this only has 1 degree of freedom, which is along the rail. So we'll go under that. We'll go to imposed motion. We'll enable imposed motion under velocity, and we can go to our value. And the reason you have to do velocity is because the velocity will move it based on where it starts here. Position will do relative to the center of this rail. So if we did position and we started it, this would snap to the middle and then start moving. So we'll do velocity. So we'll go in here, and we want this slide to move back and forth. So we will do a sine graph. And we need this to travel. So like I said, the rail is 10 inches. The slide's width is 1 inch. So we need it to move 9 inches times pi. And that's because this is a sine graph. So we'll do 9 times 3.14159. That's probably good enough. We'll set the frequency to 1, and don't worry about the phase. Now, looking at these arrows, we see that this slide will start to move this way, away from the rail. So to change that, we can look at our graph and see where it begins to go down from 0, which is at the 0.5 mark. So if we bring this back, negative 0.5 seconds, now we see at the 0, our graph begins like 0.5 seconds behind where time actually begins. So all this graph you can just forget about, and you only have to worry about this. So then going backwards, it will travel until 0.5 seconds, where it will stop. And that's where it'll be at the end of the rail. So for it to come back, we'll need to add another second onto here. So you see from 0, it'll go back until 0.5 seconds, then it'll go back to where it began at 1 second. Alright, so we can press OK, and this will move back and forth in 1 second, assuming this is 100. Alright, so we'll press play, and you'll see it goes back and forth in 1 second, and that was pretty fast. So if we want to slow this down, we can just increase this number to, say, 1000. Press play, and now it's moving at a more respectable speed. And just to show you that it does perfectly align here, press play, and it just touches. And you can just press loop and have it go back and forth. Alright, and that is how you animate a slide on a rail.